Hey, welcome to Ask the Website Chicks. This is episode 3. I'm Lily Salazar,
I'm Tori Cox.
and we're going to dive into the Squarespace forum and look at some websites and give you some real live website feedback. So, here, let me share my screen. Okay, so here we are. We have a photographer website. Looking just for some suggestions. Frankie Breakfast Art Photography.
Well, so this is not the homepage though. So let's go to that. So this is the first homepage, which I love that it definitely has like a vibe to it. That I mean, you know that you're gonna get opinions and something very specific from this, which I'm always all about. Like I think the more niche you can be, the better. What do you think?
Yeah. I love that your art photography is in your logo. I'm curious as to what the main call to action besides viewing your portfolio. If I want to just book you, for example, I think having a clear call to action, and also where are you located, right? I want to make sure I land on the right website. And if I'm looking at a completely different city or area, then I just want to make sure
Or
that
if
in
you
the first
travel.
3 seconds,
Yeah.
or what county, what region you're at. Basically, that's really like for people that are coming, that they can easily know where you're located.
Now, a lot of the time, especially when people are in something creative, they get really stuck on how it looks, which is obviously important because that is what is going to get people to hire you. But something else that we notice happens a lot is they'll make pages like this that look great. But when you scroll down and you click on book your session, it doesn't work. So that's really not uncommon for us to see happen. Probably something just changed while you're doing it, but it's just going to be hard for people to work with you if the buttons for working with you don't work. So there's also just like a lot going on here. The like requesting a quote. I think that one said that it was like for something else other than what it is. Like it says it's for portraits, but it goes to the commercial one, which I think was below. So there's just a lot happening, and people might get confused on how to work with you and what they should do.
Yeah, I don't know what your take is, Tori, on this one too, is like pricing. Personally, at least for us website designers, prices range all over. So I think having your pricing, maybe the investment starts at X, Y, and Z, because that would be helpful. And just so you know that like the people that are reaching out to you won't be like scared when you drop a price, right? And especially in your area. So if you live in an area, right, in Seattle or something, versus like, I don't know, somewhere in Alabama, that's like very different price points, right? You just want to make sure that their pricing is also, I don't know. What's your take on having pricing on websites? Because I know that's sometimes a big question.
You need to tell people how many zeros they should be expecting unless you're going to only work with people who do not care. And there's very few people who don't care about the difference between $1,000, $10,000, and $100,000. Like most people are going to care about that. If, however, you're working with like the 1%ers and they really don't care about that, then like that's a different take. But if you're working with people who are going to care about the difference between those 3 numbers, then I think you need to kind of tell people where they are in there, because people will charge everywhere in that range. And you need to let them know kind of like where you're at. Yeah.
Again, yeah, this is kind of text heavy, good for SEO, whatnot, but kind of like what I think putting the text here with an image, an example of what they get would be helpful.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think I had here. Yeah. So I think going back to my main thing, right, is like contact information, your footer, you have your social media links, great. And I would, a lot of the times we do see these like newsletter like widgets, but are you using them? I know I would say if it's taking up real estate on your homepage, and if you're not sending them out, I would get rid of it or maybe make it less focused on the footer.
Yeah,
That's just
I mean,
my
that's
thought.
just the general rule. If you're not actually emailing people, I wouldn't bother to collect emails when you could be getting them to just go straight to booking.
Mhm.
That's different if you think that you are actually going to send them. But in my experience, I have people who have had a list that's like 4 or 5 years old. Those people don't remember you anymore. Like if the boat has sailed on that one. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome photography though. That's
Mhm.
really cool.
Oh yeah, it has a vibe, and that's what you
Yeah.
need when you're in creative work. Like
Yeah.
there's a vibe, and that part's very, very much like on the site. But I
Okay.
think it needs the business strategy side to it.
Yeah. With gradients, I would just make sure that you want to use them across all the pages, right? I don't know if this is intentional. If you want to make it gradient here or just have the full bar, so then your whole logo is easy to see. So
Mm.
just whenever you're building a website, test your headers on all your pages, not just your
Mhm.
homepage.
Mhm.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
Nope.
All right. Next up, we've got a shop, a handmade maker, Time Woven
Quilting.
Studio.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
So the same thing that we always say is that you want to make sure that you have a headline and that it uses some of your keywords. Now, on this one, this Welcome to Time Woven Studio is probably the H1, which is what matters more for Google. And it doesn't really say anything that the domain name doesn't already say. So this is more where you want to say things about quilting, things about maybe long arm services, because that's something that's hard to find. And then when it says like handmade pieces, it doesn't say like quilted pieces there. I would say if there's any like specific niche that those handmade goods are in, you would probably want to put that in there too. So it's really hammers home the point about it being about quilting in the heading one, so that those keywords are actually used.
Yeah. Above the fold too is you said shop handmade goods, but where is the shop button, right? Custom. Is that something they
okay? That's actually, so I think that's a good point because these are the buttons, right? Probably, but
Oh, they
a lot of people don't know
are.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never, ever, ever rely on pictures to be the button because you will be surprised by how many people do not realize that they're clickable. Like,
Mhm.
especially if the text itself isn't clickable. Like, it needs a button. It doesn't, I know people don't always like the way it looks. You need it anyway because you need people to press on it.
Yeah. And also, where are you located? I feel
Mhm.
like, especially when it comes to SEO, all these keywords, but like width of where are you located, that is huge for a small business.
Yeah.
And you're
Especially because
never,
Find Me in Person doesn't go anywhere.
yeah.
So
Check your links. Check your links.
yeah.
I would even just make that on your homepage. I would not put
Mhm.
it in its own separate page. I feel like,
Yeah, it just needs to be on there.
yeah, where you're located, what you do, who you are, who you help, and where they
Or-
can find you should be all on your homepage.
If people can mail things to you, because I know that that's like a thing sometimes, I think it's important to say that too. Like they don't need to be in person. A lot of people don't know that even if they are in the quilting world, they're still looking for somebody. I did a quilting website. That even if they are looking for like long arm studios and that kind of thing, sometimes they think that they can go do it themselves, like with your services. Like there's all kinds of stuff that goes into it. So they might not realize that like they need to ship it somewhere. Also, sometimes people just want to like estimate how far away it is. Like if you were shipping a quilt to Alaska versus, like Kansas, those are very big differences. Who knows like what the shipping cost is going to be. So they might need that just to kind of like estimate like, okay, is that a really long ways? Because quilts can be heavy. So
yeah. And your navigation, I would just recommend keeping it all in one line.
Mhm.
I would recommend like 4 or 5, maybe 4 to
Yeah,
6
I
items.
think it's supposed to be what, like 7 at the absolute max,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I do not go to 7 unless they're very short words. Whereas, like custom quilt design and creation, I'm like that's very long. I would put those under services. And then you can have more words under the menu after that.
Mhm.
So yeah. Anything else you want to click on stuff?
No, I would just say on the footer, I would keep it. I would either add like a color or something that makes it stand out.
Yes.
Because when people are going through your website, it's like just building consistency that footer shows up on every. We don't want it
bottom.
to get lost, right?
Mhm.
People usually go there to find contact information and your navigation with any social media links. I would replicate them. You have them here on your header, but I would also include them on the footer. But yeah,
I always like to end a website too, like all the pages with a call to action in or right above the footer too, which is really easy to do in Squarespace. You can add another section so that no matter what page they're on, they always are getting like, hey, but don't forget to book, don't forget to like shop, whatever call to action you want that to be, to just put it on those pages.
reinforcing it. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
All right. So we're actually excited to show you one of our projects. So as you know, Tori and I are Squarespace designers, but we do design on Square mostly for food-based businesses. However, this is a simple restaurant website focused on online ordering, but we wanted to share with you because we are actually working on a redesign to show you the difference, right? This is the Square.
And this is a good Square website.
Here we go.
Like Square is hard to make look good. Lily's very good at it, but it is not as easy as Squarespace is to make something that looks good.
So yeah, we're excited. We'll be making something for you guys to share with. Hopefully, we'll be able to show it next week. But yeah,
we'll show you what we can do and probably some of like how quick it is.
Yeah.
So,
awesome. All right. Well, if you want us to review your site, drop a link in the comments too, and or on the Squarespace forum. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.